sharing platform for all CEOs across Pakistan and the globe. Joining us today is yet another very special guest who's going to help us contribute to the knowledge economy. We have Mr. Yousaf Rizvi, who's the CEO and founder for Checkin.pk. How are you, Yousaf Saab? And thank you for taking out time for us today.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So, Yousaf Saab, I wanted to ask you about your personal journey. So, beyond, what the conventional questions are, how did Mr. Yousaf Rizvi end up becoming the CEO and founder that he is? Where did you go to school? Where did you grow up? What courses did you study? What happened along the way? How was your journey?
So I've always lived in Lahore. I was born in Lahore. I've studied from Lahore. I graduated from school. Then it was in defense, Ibn Sina. Then I went to government college. I'm a Ravian, proud Ravian. I graduated from government college and then went to the Lahore School of Economics, where I did my master's in finance. So I'm an MBA in finance. And I've always had a very keen interest in making companies, building them up, to a position, scaling them to a position where you can address a certain need in the market. And based on that, that's how our family background has been in travel, sort of, because my complete family, they are all lawyers, but we had this business of travel, which was working side by side with our law firm. And that's how I was asked. I'm not a
Absolutely.
lawyer because I did my MBA, so I joined that line of business, and that's how I came into travel, and that led to us working as exclusive partners for Thai Airways International, which is the national carrier of Thailand, to a point that I made this new company called Check-in Pakistan, which is an
Yeah,
online travel company.
right. Mm-hmm. So, Yusuf
So
Saab, obviously that raises that
that's how it was done.
question that. Mhm. Okay, lovely. Yeah, but that helps one wonder that, right, this would be the right time to crack the market in Pakistan. However, how is Check-in different from the international travel companies that Pakistanis usually use? Like, I'm an avid traveler. I usually use, like Booking.com or whatever. So, what makes Check-in Pakistan different?
So one of the biggest things that this period has taught us, especially this pandemic, a lot of people who are working with these international travel sites that you've heard of, and they had to face a lot of loss because of them, because you never knew who the real partner at the back end was. So if you booked your ticket, you loved the fare, you said, "Oh, it's so cheap, I'll buy it." Eventually, when you bought it, and then you realized there was something wrong, you needed to change it. You had to go to the airline's office. You did not know who was handling that matter. There could be a company who was on your face. They are a company in UK, but eventually the ticket was issued from somewhere in Sweden. So that's how people have faced, and they've lost a lot of money, especially in this pandemic. And that has resulted in Pakistani companies to come up and say that, okay, at least we are here in Pakistan, we provide you a service, and we have, even in this pandemic, we have played a very important role in ensuring that our partners even our suppliers, our partners, and our customers, we have given refunds, fighting with the airline, getting their refunds done, and sorting out those matters with them so that they get their money back. So this is something that as a Pakistani company, we pride ourselves on, that whenever Pakistanis are traveling, we would like to ensure that they get the best prices and the best deals available. Plus, currently it's a good time because travel overall is down, completely out. So we get this opportunity to rebuild the company from ground up, and take it to the next level.
Because that's what my next obvious question was, that obviously this last year with the pandemic, some companies saw exponential growth because they were tech savvy and everything, and then they did their digital transformations.
Yeah.
Other companies suffered heavy losses. We saw a lot of layoffs in jobs as well. One thing that was common was that there was a learning curve for everybody, and there was some firefighting that we all had to do. We had to be more agile in our methods. How has the pandemic affected your line of work? Because we know this is one of the industries that was
So
the worst hit. And how did you do the
yeah,
firefighting?
so you're absolutely correct. Travel overall, I think it is either the number one or the second biggest industry which has been hit by this pandemic. So Checkin.pk obviously being coming into a position where we had investment raised in this company earlier, but then we acquired this company overall last year, and then immediately when we took over back the company, then this pandemic happened. So we have suffered a
Mhm.
very heavy cost because of this, keeping ourselves into sort of like a survival mode. Where we wanted to pass through this, use this time to rethink our strategy, plan accordingly, and decide on where we want to take this in the future. If you talk about overall travel in the industry, travel industry in Pakistan, I'm just talking about domestic travel has somewhat come back to normal. But if you talk about the whole industry at large, as per IATA, which is the International Air Transport Association, just for Pakistan, you would say that the industry has gone down by nearly 87%. So if you're looking at an industry which has gone down by
Right.
80 to 87%, that you can just imagine how much pressure it has put on travel businesses. I would say a lot of hundreds of travel agencies and travel businesses have just completely gone offline. They've closed down their businesses, moved to a different. Only those companies have survived who have a good clientele base, who have the people's trust, because a lot of people lost a lot of money in these times also. So they have this trust that okay, Checkin.pk was there in the best of times, in the good of times, and thankfully now we expect as things to improve. As soon as the vaccination drive is happening, we expect that we will be activate and we will make sure that things get back to normal. And we're using this time to grow ourselves, actually redeveloping our platform, increasing our platform, and you'll see a new version of Checkin.pk coming up inshallah by next month. And that is how where
Oh, that's
that
awesome.
also comes in the point that we're also planning a special promotion for CxO Global members, and that will be shared
Okay,
with
lovely.
Kaval and your team very soon.
That's brilliant. We're really looking forward to it because this obviously brings to mind the fact that sure, recreational travel might have been very compromised, but all of us like business travelers, I mean, I still took about 4 or 5 flights last year, and with obviously with all the precautions. So what kind of solutions are you looking at in terms of businesses, because with the corporate world, I mean, travel is always a requirement, with domestic flights, international flights, so on and so forth. Are you looking
Now,
to
if you
provide
look at it,
business
I would like to,
solutions?
yeah. I would like to hear your point of view on this. That out of those 4 to 5 flights, how many were international and how many were domestic?
Okay, so mostly it was more domestic flights in general. Yeah.
Exactly. So overall industry in the domestic segment has come back to quite a good normal.
Normalcy.
Whereas if you're
Yeah.
talking about international travel, because of the restrictions, because of COVID testing, even a lot of companies have decided that unless it's really essential for a person to travel, they have just decided to put it on hold. We represent a lot
Hmm.
of Turkish companies which work exclusively with us, and they have continued to travel because they
Hmm.
have their head office, they
Right.
have to go
Because
back,
Turkey
or
was
either
one
they're
of the only
foreigners who have to go back to their country. But other countries, all business travel is actually primarily to a very small level unless it's mandatory required for the person to travel, because you have quarantine requirements in each country. So unless the country itself is allowing you to enter, then travel is there. Like people were traveling last year, everybody was traveling to Turkey because Turkey had no quarantine requirement. So that's how travel was focused more on the requirement, how countries are opening up, and that would lead to travel.
Absolutely. Now, when we talk about the requirements that are there, and with the inoculation, the immunizations, how do you think the visa process is going to be affected? Because one of the reasons that a lot of people are reluctant on getting the Chinese vaccine is the fact that okay, so
Yeah.
if tomorrow we're applying to a US visa or for a business visa in the UK, will they accept the vaccine? What's the news that you people have at your end? Because you are one of the direct stakeholders that are affected.
Okay, so if you would like to keep in touch with a lot of latest updates, which I do, I have an official channel which is called Yousaf Rizvi Official, where I keep updating all the latest travel updates. But just to share with you what currently happening is IATA, the International Air Transport
Yeah.
Association, is launching an IATA travel pass. Now, 47
Mm-hmm.
airlines have already signed up for that pass. That would mean, and you see a lot of major
Mm-hmm.
names who have become part of that pass. So it will be digitally, you
Right.
will be allowed, if you're going to a particular country, they will have certain requirements that what kind of vaccination they require, they accept, and what will be the certain process that be required for them. So no airline in the future will allow you to board until they are sure that you have been vaccinated. That is something that we predict. Even countries like Saudi Arabia, they've closed down their fleet operation. Now, Saudi Arabia is connecting Pakistan, not just Labor, but Umrah, Hajj. This is like nearly, even
Mm-hmm.
Saudi Arabia has closed down itself because they were vaccinating their people, and they plan to
Absolutely.
open now very soon. So again, they will require people whenever they are coming in. This is the rumor that they have, that they will require people to get vaccinated. Now, in terms of vaccination, you would see a different trend in different countries. If you're looking at a country like Thailand,
Right.
where right now they have a 14 days quarantine requirement, they
Currently.
are using the Chinese vaccine to vaccinate their people. If you're looking at other
Yeah.
countries like the US, they are primarily using Moderna, Pfizer, and now Johnson and
Pfizer.
Johnson, which has just come in. The Johnson and
Absolutely.
Johnson, which has just been approved, and it
And
is
it's that
being
one shot.
given to some people.
Right. Absolutely.
So
So
based on that, I
Yusuf,
think
just
IATA will
a
primarily
little
decide on this which destination is there, and then you'll have to provide that particular vaccination
have
for
the
you to
travel
travel
pass.
to that place. But right now it's under process.
Right. Since you're one of the pioneers in linking up IT with travel for Pakistan, and we take massive pride in it. Uh, I would like to share one of the incidents that, when I was back in America, all we had to do to travel was that, we had to just these parts, and this was directly sync into my phone's wallet. And this was your check-in, this was your boarding pass, that was your ticket, that was literally everything I needed was all within my phone. What is the scope, and is it for
Correct.
Check in Pakistan? How far away are we from services like these and ease of access?
I think you see, if you boarded a recent flight, you would have realized that initially, up till I think maybe last year, there was a time when you had to require a
Mm-hmm.
physical printout of a ticket when you wanted to just even cross security at the airport. So they would say, please go
Yeah,
upstairs,
yeah,
get a printout, or yeah, and you would not allow, because that guy who's the official officer, now that guy did not have the information or did not know how to use. And now, but with time, they have realized that now you can show your ticket on your phone and they let you go through. So this is slowly but surely
yeah,
changes
the
are
PDF.
happening. Pakistan, people are accepting boarding passes as more and more, because of this COVID virus. The whole process of touchless system has just leapfrogged, because now a lot of airports in the US, or you're looking at a lot of airports even in the Middle East and other airports, they're trying to make sure that they implement technologies where you physically don't get in touch with anybody. And that's how they want to make it. For example,
Okay.
they've started face scanning. They've made all the procedures at the airport that you don't need to. So example, when you are at the airport right now, even in Lahore, there was a friend who traveled
Yeah.
yesterday, 2 days ago, and when he checked in and everything, that
Mm-hmm.
process was as it was. But then they said, can you just show me your COVID test? Now, they didn't require a COVID test printout. They just said, just show me that print and we will tag it. So changes, as people want to make sure that they have less and less interaction, the physical interaction, until as countries become more safer. But I think that the mindset has completely changed, and technology is slowly coming in and becoming a part of everyday life, where sometimes you never used to think about these things, and now you come back and realize that why do I need to have this when I can just show you something and the
Absolutely.
transaction can happen physically. There's no need for me to carry physical data with me. I hope a time comes in the
Right.
future where you will not even need to lead your passport, because your phone will tell you which countries you have been for the past 10 years, how many visa
Absolutely.
approvals you
Like
have,
another with my
and because
credit
they're
card.
all digitally embedded
Yeah.
into it.
Absolutely. And Yusuf, so however, there's one challenge that I've seen happen very often, even with my own mom and dad, for example. So they are frequent travelers. But when it comes to digital trust, and that's the story of, I think, more than 70% of people in Pakistan. I saw that even your website has the option of online payments, and I'm sure there's a payment gateway installed. And people are not very comfortable with making payments online or booking through credit cards. How do you think this? How would you tackle this narrative?
You see, there are two ways of looking at it. Currently, you're absolutely correct. People, sort of like a hybrid system is operating in the country, because people who are rich, who can afford to travel or who are traveling, they would like to have a physical contact, face to face contact, or a interaction on the phone with somebody who's making that booking for them. Just to check prices, everybody has an app. They can use multiple websites to compare prices, and then they come and talk to their uncle, their janne wala, their the Shafiq bhai, Mahmood
Absolutely.
bhai, and they talk to them and say, यार
Yeah,
इतने की
Shafiq
टिकट मिल रही है, तुम्हारे पास कितने की मिल रही है?
So absolutely, those are the people that affect travel in Pakistan. But Yusuf, one of the things that we do still want to look at, especially in terms of travel, is that what are you offering next? Like what comes in next? It's established that Check-in Pakistan is doing a great job at booking tickets, booking hotels. I went through the website; everything's seamless. How does it evolve travel or the travel experience? Because life is all about experiences now. How does it make the travel experience different for an average person now? Check-in.Pakistan, Check-in Pakistan.
So I think primarily, if you're looking at every major platform, what travel is all about selling experiences. You're absolutely correct. Now, what everybody is trying to do is right now is, until unless there's a complete coordination with the airport departments where we can make sure that we can provide them that extra service, for example, extra services at the airport, extra services at international lounge offers. We are planning in the other version of the platform, which, as I mentioned, it's under testing right now and will be up in hotels, but increase our portfolio, that you'll be able to book event tickets, you'll be able to book activities and other things on our platform as well. So as soon as that platform comes out, it will allow you to have a
Right. So
better
that
choice on
basically the
certain
travel.
things that you will not be able to do before.
Absolutely. So, Yusuf, unfortunately, we didn't really keep track of time because the conversation was so interesting, and this was a very different topic for all of us. And I wish you all the best. We would love to speak about this even more.
Thank you.
And on an ending note, I want to ask you, how has being a part of the CxO Global Forum uh, affected your personal and professional life?
Well, Kaval was the one who approached me regarding this forum. I had frankly had no knowledge about it initially. It's great to meet people who are in the same industry, learn from them. I was in a talk earlier. I think I had a lot of interesting people from multinational companies in Pakistan, or companies who are doing very well in the e-commerce platform area, and we had a joint discussion. So I take CxO Global Platform as a means of interacting, sharing input, sharing information, learning from each other, and that is what a community CxO Global has become. So, and I wish you guys best of luck, and let's hope for the best.
Right. Thank you so much, Yusuf. That's very well said, and we look forward to more conversations with you. And we wish you all the best. Thank you for your time, and
Thank you very
ladies
much.
and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for yet another interesting guest in our next show. Thank you. And for those of you who want to get in touch with Yusuf, please follow him on LinkedIn. He's someone with a lot of experience and a lot of clout. So you can follow him on LinkedIn, and do visit the website, Check-in Pakistan's website, and do visit CxOforum.global for more information about us. Stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you.